Oh, hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation community. And welcome to another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done for the last 11 months and counting, because the daily stream streak must remain strong, I'm here to open my office doors to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us with containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom, we are here for the next, let's say, 1 hour and 15 minutes, 75 minutes, to have our daily stream. And by the way, Dr. Singer, welcome back. Good to see you. Duly note, it is fine for Foundation staff members to take a break from these daily streams. They're every day. I do not fret if you miss a stream or if you come back. I have been streaming daily for 11 months. I will be here when you get back. Let's just enjoy our time together without any pressure on it, shall we? Besides, we all have busy jobs to do here at the Foundation. Oh, and furthermore, Dr. Singer, what's CBW/DS? Well, what is the name of the show that I just said that we are doing today? Perhaps it's an abbreviation of some sort for something I said during the intro. Says the one who said we'd lose our job if we miss stream. Well, I didn't say there weren't consequences. Please, keep up. Now, also, Lucas the intern, congratulations on being our #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e. congratulations on being first chatter. Meanwhile, Legendary Doge official, Froy, 369 Destroyer, Titanborn, Black Phoenix, Senior Researcher Alex, Silent Follower, Kilber, with a new profile picture, Anomalous Hodge, Aoki, the Administrator. Everyone who I have just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being members here at Site 42 on YouTube. We appreciate your membership and your service. Alongside you all, in the shadows, American animator, Patates, Stephen Tambari, 100 stars, and sleep-deprived Dragon of the Night. Thank you all for being here punctually, and thank you for being here today, just for being you. Now, this one dono has come in during the intro. I will do that before I get to the stream subject, after which I will move on to the standard Q&A. So, our first donation of the day, Scarlett. Thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a coffee on your way past the commissary. You said, I've appeared to say hello, goodbye again. Heh. Well, thank you for the drive-by donation, and I hope you've been doing well. And now, today's streaming subject. Did you ever take a moment to consider, you're here, you're working for the SCP Foundation. What does your insurance policy look like? Life insurance, health insurance, disaster insurance, for the Foundation as well as its staff members. Well, it turns out, if you're the type of person who tools around the SCP Foundation website at random, you're just doing a little exploration, maybe you just happen to go to the group of interest page. Maybe you click on a random group of interest you've never heard of or paid attention to before. And then you discover, oh my, starting in Series 7, there is a new group of interest on the block who is handling foundational issues of insurance. Today's stream is my introduction, and your introduction probably, to the group of interest that handles the SCP Foundation's insurance needs, GOLDBAKER-REINZ Limited. Now let me take it to the top of the page so we can actually see the top of the page of the logo, because it's weird. It just disappears here. But starting in SCP 6987, you can be introduced, click here to attach viewed memo, to the O5 Council. We have completed this year's revisions of SCP-6987 documentation for clearance levels 1 through 4, pending your review. Please make any necessary changes. We're trying something a little different this year for level 1 documentation. Hopefully this should emphasize to the new recruits that insurance coverage from Goldbaker is significantly different from what they are used to. Signed, Ezekiel Yang from the PhD, Department of Financial Esoterica, and Sheldon Katz, Esquire, from the Legal Department. Secure, contain, protect. So if you go to the SCP-6987 documentation, and by accepting employment with the Foundation, you are acknowledging that you have read and are aware of the following information in its entirety, and that you will affirm that you will adhere to the containment procedures. Now, I know that you have all read this, because you all work for the Foundation. But I am giving you a review, because sometimes we go through amnestic treatment, and this information gets lost. So, SCP-6987, Containment Class Safe, Secondary Class Radix, Special Containment Procedures. All terms and conditions present within SCP-6987 must be upheld by Foundation personnel. If the Foundation is found to be in violation of a term outlined within SCP-6987, compliance must be restored before the end of the next Gregorian calendar month, or else suffer a penalty as defined by SCP-6987-Theta through SCP-6987-redacted by Legal Department. As a Radix class anomaly, 6987 has been incorporated into the Foundation's command structure. Footnote. Yes, I know, it's very important, Puppy of Interest 42. Following the guidance of Dr. Y. Liner from TACT Theo, the Radix class is currently being adopted for anomalies incorporated in the Foundation's command structure, but not related to Judaism, replacing Yesod. Interesting. If you believe you are aware of a violation of SCP-6987, please report said violation through Human Resources, your site's Foundation Legal Department liaison, or SkipNet's anonymous reporting function. Whistleblowers will be protected under the Foundation's Stand Up and Speak Up policy. Violations of 6987 not only expose the Foundation to significant financial, legal, and reputational risks, but also threaten the continued existence of humanity itself. So, you know, no biggie. Stephen Tambari, just a side note, hashtag just intern things. Yesod is not a Lobotomy Corp reference. Lobotomy Corp is referencing Judaism. It's the other way around. Please, you work for the Foundation. You're better than this. Do not give credit to Lobotomy Corporation for things that are not Lobotomy Corporation's problem. Trust me, they do not need more clout. So, the description of this anomaly. 6987 is the portfolio of insurance contracts between the SCP Foundation, labeled as the Foundation or Insured, and Goldbaker-REINZ Limited Group, Insurance Group Limited, signed as Goldbaker-REINZ or Provider. Several of these contracts have anomalous enforcement clauses and benefit payments. As an employee of the SCP Foundation, you are entitled to insurance through Goldbaker-REINZ. You may choose to exempt yourself from any or all of this coverage and seek private insurance plans, if you so choose. However, note that the coverage offered by Goldbaker-REINZ provides timely, global availability and a range of experimental medical procedures. By accepting employment with the Foundation, you are acknowledging that you have read and are aware of the following information to your clearance level in its entirety. And so, if you continue down this SCP-6987, you literally get introduced to the brochure for insurance from... Oh no, this is your employment letter from the SCP Foundation. Then you get a brief history of insurance provided by the entity known as Goldbaker-REINZ Limited, and how they helped out in the aftermath of the 7th Occult War, which got them involved with the Foundation and the Global Occult Coalition and many other groups. You have healthcare benefits, legalities, pet insurance, you're welcome, vehicular insurance, very important when dealing with you-know-who, Dr. Gerald, SCP-666-J. You have pataphysical protection. No, you don't. You cannot guarantee pataphysical protection. That's fair, Goldbaker-REINZ. We expected a lot, but that would be a lot to expect. Now, reminder, that was just the level 1 documentation. If you move up to level 2 documentation, you may see, this is for level 3 clearance, and it has different terms, things you should be paying attention to. Now this, level 4, is where the site directors come in, so this is for me, not for you. And of course, you could go into the pure data feed, but you do not have the clearance, so please ignore everything I just sent to you. Also, please do not try to talk to a live representative unless you are a member of the Overseer Council. Suffice it to say, it seems we have quite a boon of coverage from SCP-6987 agreement with this group of interest. But also allow me to show you, because one lovely thing you can do as an SCP Foundation staff member is you can go to the SCP database's sidebar for groups of interest, and if you scroll the groups of interest to one you might be interested in researching, such as Goldbaker-REINZ Limited, then you get a short summary, of course. You get a link to their hub page, but also, to see all documents tagged with Goldbaker-REINZ, click here. And so, wow, Goldbaker-REINZ, actually a very reasonable 30 stories on the database. Earliest SCP document is 6987. So if you were the type of person who wanted to know everything about the things you're interested in, well, it's way easier to know everything about Goldbaker-REINZ at a simple 30 stories than it would be to say, click on the Global Occult Coalition, where you need to research 552 stories. So for those of you with the obsessive goal of knowing it all, and, you know, for those of us who are here at the SCP Foundation, we do tend to be a bit of a know-it-all. Well, I think your health insurance policy through the SCP Foundation might be a good thing to know it all about. So, welcome to Goldbaker-REINZ Limited. You have 30 stories to research, including their home document, SCP-6987. Happy researching, happy study, everyone. Now, I am going to give you one more little piece of information about GOLDBAKER-REINZ, because they do have a little bit of a fun to them. So, when you go to any group of interest hub, this is the hub for group of interest. Of course, it links to SCP-6987 at the top because that's the first article featuring them. So you want to go and figure that out. But then you have the table of contents for the different sections of learning about GOLDBAKER-REINZ. But what I'm interested in showing you guys, obviously you can see all SCPs related to it, all other works, how to write GOLDBAKER-REINZ. On the groups of interest, this is basically, I believe all of them have this section where it is the main people who run this group of interest, who invented it on the wiki. They tell you, hey, what is this group about? So if you want to write it, you can write it right. So let's talk about GOLDBAKER-REINZ. If you were to attempt to write a GOLDBAKER-REINZ article, what would the creators of GOLDBAKER-REINZ expect you to do? First off, if you haven't actually read SCP-6987, read it, because that is the beginning and the introduction to the group of interest, and you need that information. Furthermore, do's and don'ts of writing GOLDBAKER-REINZ. GOLDBAKER-REINZ is, quote, fair. It largely does not take glee in being bad guys. The wording of their policy should be exacting but generous. But the enforcement of the policies should be exacting. It is firmly set in the fantastical, mainly because it could not reasonably exist in the real world any more than the... Or sorry, I skipped back a paragraph. Their policies as written should have almost no wiggle room in favor of elaborate explanations of what is and what isn't covered, erring on the side of the more coverage for the greater cost. But when the time comes to enforce that, they will enforce to the letter of the contracts. Next bullet point. GOLDBAKER-REINZ should seem very smug about how fair it is. Its coverage is valuable, comprehensive, and generous. Its risk models and data are in-depth, far-ranging, and often extremely accurate. It will never miss a chance to emphasize these facts. GOLDBAKER-REINZ would put its name next to the Foundation and the Global Occult Coalition as a force for good in maintaining consensus normalcy despite its actions being much lesser. See services and capabilities or below. Don't make them the protagonists of the stories. GOLDBAKER-REINZ will almost never proactively fight for a better world, but will provide support for those who do. Direct intervention is the place of the Mana Charitable Foundation or the Global Occult Coalition or the Foundation. The one exception is discreet assassinations of insurance fraudsters. If you do insurance fraud against GOLDBAKER-REINZ, you will suffer. Intern Mad Virus says, sounds like devil deals to me. It does sound like devil deals to me as well. I do believe you're onto something there. Who else do you think would give frickin' health insurance to the Foundation? GOLDBAKER-REINZ's goals do not include continued growth or high quarterly profits. Their goals also do not include a better world for the sake of a better world. They only want to survive and continue providing risk services. GOLDBAKER wants this. REINZ might complain about it, but won't do anything to fight it. GOLDBAKER-REINZ will rarely interfere in major active breach of normalcy. They will provide advisory options, and after the fact will honor any policies in place and provide logistical support to restore normalcy. But ultimately they are reactive, not proactive. You should get basic finance and statistics jargons and concept right if you have to consult Wikipedia, Investopedia, or ask the original author of GOLDBAKER-REINZ, who might be a finance head, if the writing of that first document has anything to say. GOLDBAKER-REINZ does not issue stock any more than Marshall Carter and Dark does. All decisions ultimately answer to GOLDBAKER. There's a board of directors, but they are not chosen based on ownership of public equity. Therefore, GOLDBAKER-REINZ does not have shareholders. And finally, Goldbaker will never make deals with Dark of Marshall, Carter, and Dark. By extension, Goldbaker-REINZ will not make deals with Marshall, Carter, and Dark. Goldbaker is more than happy to poach people from Marshall, Carter, and Dark, but on a corporate level, Goldbaker has a deep animus towards Dark and any companies associated it. So, they have made an enemy of the richest guys on Earth have made an enemy of the insurance guys. A dangerous game. Finally, we have introduction to the leadership of Goldbaker and REINZ. Let's introduce our characters. Goldbaker, pronouns, they, them. The founder of Goldbaker Limited continues to exercise a firm hand on the strategic outlook of Goldbaker-REINZ. Goldbaker endeavors to lead the firm ethically and responsibly to benefit all of its customers and stakeholders. The end of the Seventh Occult War marked a new era for the firm. Goldbaker was instrumental in providing reconstructive aid to parties adversely impacted by the horrors of the Seventh Occult War, promising fair and equitable restoration to those covered by its policies. Through a good faith effort to restore what the world had lost, Goldbaker positioned the firm as a trustworthy partner capable of making good on its promises. Goldbaker continues to lead the firm to weather crisis after crisis. From Black Monday to the financial crisis of 2008 to the COVID-19 pandemic, Goldbaker's resolute leadership has kept the firm at the forefront of risk and insurance in the anomalous world. I'm glad to hear that the frickin' COVID-19 pandemic weathered such terror upon the anomalous world as much as it did us. Finally, a couple of quotes from Goldbaker-REINZ. Wow, that's a lot of quotes. I'm only going to give a couple. On identity, Goldbaker claims, "I am no god. I can die. I have died, though I can recover, so it's not a true death. A god has a domain. Jupiter was thunder, fatherhood, patriarchy, law, Rome, connected concepts to be sure, but distinct nonetheless. If I have a concept, I have only one: risk management. Our forebears would have called it other things, to be sure, but the actions and philosophies are eternal." Capabilities, Goldbaker has said, "I am learned in all manners of divination known by gods and man. Astrology, I Ching, tarot, dowsing, technical analysis." As a personality, quotes about Goldbaker stand as thus: Humans fear losing what they already have. I am there to offer them reassurances for a price. Those who fear hardest and have the most to lose are those who flock to me most eagerly. I would not survive without them. You saw nothing. And also saying about himself, I am as much of a predator as the boogeyman. Okay. Good luck. The other person we have, and a lot less to say about them, is REINZ. REINZ, pronouns he, him. Werner REINZ, a former founding partner of the now defunct REINZ Group, accepted a merger offer from Goldbaker in 1981. By accepting this offer, REINZ escaped all of the consequences of his shady past and has engaged in no further activity since his merger, a victory for rehabilitative justice. As part of the newly formed Goldbaker-REINZ, Werner focused on operations and sales. While the goodwill from reconstruction efforts in the wake of the Seventh Occult War had sustained Goldbaker's business for the better part of 40 years, REINZ worked on restoring those connections and building new ones while implementing practices to make the firm more competitive. Although nearing his retirement in the 2020s, REINZ continues to conduct avid research into the frontiers of technology and finance, both anomalous and not, and discusses his findings with Goldbaker often. REINZ's latest obsession is trying to goad large language models into writing minor cognitohazards. Before that, it was a burning disdain for NFTs. REINZ is, quote, reaching retirement, but also is trying to goad large language models into making cognitohazards, and also hates NFTs. He's so me. For real. Reins has endeavored to shield his children and grandchildren from the family business. To an extent, he has been successful. His sons George, John, Thomas, and Alexander largely avoided both the insurance business and the anomalous world. His grandchildren Roy, Eric, Stephen, Regina, Alaric, Basil, Titania, Rihanna, and Evangeline Amaryllis have all similarly avoided careers in the financial industry, largely instead pursuing the arts and philanthropy. When Werner Reins passes, should none of his heirs choose to follow in his footsteps, Goldbaker will keep his name upon the firm as a mark of honor to his partner for about a century or so. Then, when the winds of risk change and when the market regime shifts, they will take on another client financier and the firm will adapt. And so they have worked with the Foundation, the Global Occult Coalition, and all manner of different groups in all manner of different SCPs and things they are involved with. This is some good stuff. I am enjoying looking into Goldbaker-REINZ. I'm going to keep doing so later, but for now, we've been here for about 25 minutes. I think it's time to let you guys do your research on your own from there on and jump into the general Q&A. So let me catch up on the donations I missed during my intro and Goldbaker-REINZ introductory phase. Then we will go into the general Q&A. Skywarp, thank you for your first and second donation to today's stream, as well as gifting a membership and donating one more time. So thank you for 3 donations and a gifted membership. For your generosity here at the start, grab yourself a 6-pack of the beverage of your choice. And you said, hello, how does it work for Cybertronians like myself? If you're talking about the health insurance, you're going to have to look into the document yourself and find the addendum for Cybertronians. Dr. Sherman, small problem. Somehow Unicron, aka Giant Robot Satan, I am familiar with Unicron, has somehow appeared in this dimension. Well, that's very Scarlet King adjacent. I don't like it. But where in this dimension? Other side of the universe? Do we have time? Give me some coordinates. And then you said, I summon the puppy of interest, Charlie. Why would you do such a thing? Because it's going to work. You're going to summon Charlie. That's what happens. She's a good baby. Look what you've done. Is this what you wanted? Is this what you have wrought upon the chat? She came over really slowly. I think she might have been napping. Here is a treat for the sweet. The chat says hello. Okay. Baby girl away. And for my allergies. And returning to the chat. All right, popping back up to the donations. Blue Phantom, thank you for your 1 month as a Mobile Task Force Captain here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Sorry for being late, boss. How's your day? And I summon... All right, we already summoned. We're not going to summon again. It was a good job. You all spirit bomb summoned the puppo. Congratulations. We die in the dark so she can snooze in the light. You're damn right, Anomalous Hodge. You're damn right. Black Phoenix, thank you for sending a flower to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they found it quite pretty. Matthew Burr, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a coquito on your way past the commissary. Dude, you know I'm friends with SCP-6101. Well, I didn't know that personally. I do know that SCP-6101, the most powerful SCP, is a friend to all who are good. And seeing that I see you to be good, I would have assumed you were friends with Agent Prosper. Yes. I love you, Dr. Sherman! I love you too, random SCP staff member. Thank you, intern Leah. 369 Destroyer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a brisk iced tea on your way past the commissary. Is giving Dr. Gerald with a vehicle seen as fraud? Yes, Dr. Gerald is exempt from the insurance portion of vehicles regarding our partnership with GOLDBAKER-REINZ because, of course, Dr. Gerald in a motor vehicle is seen as fraud. I begrudgingly respect you, Dr. O. Sherman. I begrudgingly respect you too, Titanborn. Also, Meowlog. That's not a name I've seen in a long time. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you've been doing well. Martatron, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a piece of cornbread on your way past the commissary. Hello, Dr. Sherman. How are you? Doing well today. Having fun. I didn't know what I was going to talk about on stream today. I had no ideas for a subject. And then I just clicked the group of interest page and I was like, huh, I've never heard of GOLDBAKER-REINZ before. And wow, that was really in-depth and interesting. More people need to know about that. Ba-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da. I meant is a staff member giving him avar treated as the staff member committing insurance fraud? Well, yes, anything relating to the Dr. Gerald driving incident is null and void. And I am certain that there's a byline where GOLDBAKER-REINZ has specifically and strictly omitted any damages regarding a Dr. Gerald incident as a non-covered situation with possible anomalous terms for getting payback from whoever did such a stupid thing in the first place. Blue Phantom, thank you for donating again for your summoning. Good work, that did work. Skywarp, thank you for donating again to say, I think other side of the universe. Well, that's good news. We have time to figure that out. Matthew Uber, thank you for sending a $100 to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will keep it $100 at your urging. Kin Crab. Intern Kin Crab, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a fruit roll-up on your way past the commissary. And since there's no message for a donation that low, just simply thank you for your generosity. Matthew Uber, thank you for sending a second $100. I am sure that the Containment Hazard Assessment team will keep it twice as $100 today at your urging. Is this meant to be on public internet? Because I don't think I'm meant to see this. Intern Logic Keeper. I understand your reticence, but it's very simple what has happened. You have just woken up from an amnestic coma because you had seen something very tragic. I understand. We all go through amnestic treatment from time to time. You have forgotten that you're a staff member at the SCP Foundation. It's fine. I'm here to remind you of that. You're welcome. It's just part of the process. So yes, welcome back to consciousness. You are a staff member at the Foundation. This broadcast does not go to anyone in the general public. We have deals with Alphabet, which is Google and YouTube's parent company, and our signals only go through particularly anomalous back channels in the algorithms that only beam to SCP Foundation staff members, be they actively working with staff, be them on vacation or recovering in medical, be they retired. Sometimes a person at the Foundation can retire in a manner that allows them to retain their memories, to not be amnesticized, because we might need information from them later. Furthermore, you might be a double agent within a group of interest, and so just make sure that the people surrounding you are not seeing this broadcast. Be careful, a good OPSEC, please. You might be a sleeper agent who just awoke in which case, welcome back to consciousness. Check the mission dossier under your chair, and good luck, agent. Welcome back. The only time we broadcast to this general public is during Broken Masquerade events, when my feed is piped through to them for public relations chat, because now that the Foundation is public in that universe, we need to reassure them that we know what we're doing, we're the best, don't stop us from doing our work, please. Skywarp, thank you for donating again to say, how do amnestics work for Cybertronians? For technological-based anomalies, it's actually easier to delete memories, because it's files. We can target the exact file using an input. That is so much easier than having to do with the messy work of amnestic drugs. That also goes for the one that said they were a living fighter jet, by the way. Yeah, you're a piece of technology. We can delete the files. Easy peasy. If I had $1 for every time I said SCP-999 was my favorite SCP, I would have $1 trillion. What about you? Well, intern Willing, might disappoint you to say that SCP-999 is not one of my favorite SCPs. If you're at the end of stream of our daily streams, I tell you guys my favorite SCPs. It's a bit of a tradition around these parts. But 999 is not one of them. And that's not because the Goo Boy I have a problem with the Goo Boy, no. It's just as an article itself, it's rather plain. It's just not a super interesting story. Yes, the entity is adorable. But as an SCP article, it just doesn't vibe for me. It doesn't entertain me the way that my favorite SCPs entertain me when I read them. What would happen if we gave SCP-096 amnestic treatment? Well, intern Vals, I would assume we don't even know how, quote, sentient or sapient SCP-096 is. All it does is walk around, cry, eat hot chip, and make people who see its face die. So, because it does not do anything, talk to us, we don't even know if it has knowledge. All we know is it can instinctually find you if you see its face. And I doubt that feeling would go away with amnestics. Real quick here, I just saw intern Mike. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Did I see any other ones? I just want to double check. All right, I think there were some more subscribers, but they were during my intro GOLDBAKER-REINZ chunk. So if you subscribe during the stream, then thank you for subscribing and welcome to Site 42 staff. Blue Phantom, thank you for donating again to say, have we found any more of the Little Mister collection? Also, have we found anything more about Wondertainment? Well, because there is no canon, because of the multiverse theory of the SCP community, the question becomes, when was the last time you looked? The Little Mister's roster, I believe, was completed a long time ago. But then there was a sequel Little Mister series. And there was like a parody version of the Little Misters that was from something else, another group of interest. It's been a while since I looked into the Little Misters, so... Because there's the original Little Misters from Dr. Wondertainment. Didn't the Gamers Against Weed, weren't they the ones who had an offshoot, Little Misters? Gamers Against Weed, Little Misters. Does anyone remember what I'm talking about? Because as I search the database, I'm not finding what I'm talking about. Misters Against Weed. Misters Against Weed. There we go. Where is it? Where do I find it? Here we are on the Gamers Against Weed hub. So if you go to the Gamers Against Weed, Gamers Against Weed did a little trolling, and they made the Misters Against Weed as a troll. So you got Mr. Literal Serial Killer, Mr. Normie, Mr. Bernie Sanders, Mr. Get Anything for Free in Any Shop, Mr. Sex Number, Mr. Heavenly Virtues, Mr. Deadly Sins, Mr. Original Character, Mr. Dare, Mrs. Gentrification, Miss Mad About Video Games, Mr. Meme, Mr. Ominous, Mr. Destiny, Mr. Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Mr. Zapatista, Mr. Hacks, Mr. Just Has the Tattoo, Mr. Top Text and Mr. Bottom Text, and Mr. Finale. Oh, and Mr. Playing Games is bad for your health. Oh no, there's more. I didn't realize the foreign language branches got in the game. If you go to the Gamers Against Weed, you can go Mr. Comes from China, Mr. Sweet Devil Girl, Mr. Taxes, Mr. Kuza Overgrowth, Mr. Uncensored, Mr. Ah, Mr. Paripi, Mr. Saiga Rokumi, and Mr. Proof. Those were from the Japanese branch. Then we have the Chinese branch, Mr. Dialect, Mr. Live Broadcast, Mr. Crackpot Scientist, Mr. Keyboard, Mr. Zhang Shen, Mr. Full Combo. The German branch has Mrs. I am having the fun of my entire life, Frau Harlequina. So many misters from the Gamers Against Weed. I did not realize they had that many. Wild. Returning to chat. Strider Taleb Gordy. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Stephen Tumbari, I'm actually shocked there isn't a Mr. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. I'm actually shocked at this point. Skywarp, thank you for donating again to say. On my way to help with a project to create long-distance controlled robots using myself as the blueprint. Also, we are going to need way more energon now. Is this your plan to handle the Unicron thing? I think we're going to need something a little bigger than a fleet of long-distance controlled robots. I mean, planet-sized Robo-Satan. Blue Phantom, thank you for donating again to say, I'm very forgetful. Well, thank you for the intel. Scarlet Fox, thank you for your 7 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. I'm doing horror makeup because I got bored. Hi. I'm doing horror makeup because I got bored. I was going to scare the pants of those guys because I got bored. Now my face is covered in stuff. And I know why, man, hey, yeah, cause I got bored, cause I got bored, cause I got bored, ba-da-da-da-da-da. Desk, I approve your request for some lemon pound cake from the commissary. Did you guys ever contain any political or famous figures? Oh boy, intern Sega. Do we contain political figures? So SCP-5004, of course, is a demon under the capital of the United States. The containment procedures, which include SCP-5004-B, us having to install Donald Trump as President of the United States, as well as Arch-Wizard Ruth Bader Ginsburg, although recently has passed and that has thrown the containment procedures in a tizzy. I know, it's very upsetting, Puppy of Interest 42. The things that are happening in the White House are a problem, and I think that probably we should have just installed Clef for president. It would have been less chaotic, which is saying something. Intern, what is it? Titanoboa? Intern Titanoboa, welcome to Site-42 staff, thank you for subscribing. But SCP-4004 also has other political people. SCP-9009 has most presidents being anomalous. What other anomalous politicians do we have? There's the SCP that is thinking that Spider-Man is the president of Peru, I believe it is. No, Chile. Chile. Campaign posters around the town and murals depicting the president of Chile as Spider-Man. Thank you, Dr. Frogman. Yes, everything SCP-4444 is George W. Bush and Al Gore. So yes, we contain a lot of politicians. And in fact, we are monitoring a lot of state legislatures as well, because there is a anomalous need for local politicians to put taxes on donuts. And if we put taxes on donuts, then the, quote, challenger of donut taxes appears, which is a man made out of donuts, kind of like the Michelin Man, with a donut lance and a donut horse. And it challenges state legislators to duels if they try to levy a donut tax. When the Donut Knight SCP-4759 successfully got in a duel with the state senator, we discovered that the senator was actually a human skin suit full of bagels. So there's an anomalous war between, a secret war between the donut people and the bagel people right now. Are we sure this isn't a really weird Tim Hortons ad campaign? You know, Titanborn, at this point, SCP-5909, the 2.7 light-year long shrimp out in space, turned out to be a Red Lobster ad. So really anything goes. Skywarp, thank you for donating again to say. No, just all around help. Gotta think of a plan to get a Matrix and a Prime here for the Unicron thing, or a younger Primus. Okay, that's a better goal at least. So, yeah, tell me how that's going in your research. 100 stars love. Thank you for sending a 100 to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will keep it 100 at your urging. Also, pardon me, time check. We are currently 25 minutes from the end of stream. 25 minutes from the end of stream, everyone. Chat, let me give you a reminder. We have a moderator in the chat, the Desk of Alto Clef, the blue name. That moderator will sometimes either tell you you're breaking the rules and warn you, So make sure you're not ignoring the moderator, otherwise you might be banned and you don't even know why, because you weren't paying attention to the moderator. Or furthermore, if the moderator speaks, then make sure that you are paying attention, because they might be answering your questions, because they are simpler questions that I've answered before, and you can get your answer very easily from the moderator. Pay attention to the moderator. Just got here, heard the senator was made of bagels. I love this fandom. Yep, Amber Chaos, welcome to the wonderful world of SCP-4759, which is quite a short little article. That's the whole thing. So you can give that a really quick read, but yeah, those donut taxes will get you challenged to a duel pretty quickly. Be aware of the bagel people and the donut people. I mean, at least the challenger of donut taxes, SCP-4759 itself, looks like donuts. It is a Michelin man made up of donuts. So at least we know that's anomalous. The problem is when the senator had a perfect human skin suit that, when pierced, revealed that the entity was made of bagels. So the bagel people are incognito among us. Yeah, I said the funny word phrase, because they are among us right now. Any person could be a bagel person, and we don't know. Be careful. Dr. Frogman, maybe I'm a bagel. Well, as far as I know, the bagels are... The bagel people know they're bagel people. It's not like this senator thought she was a normal person, and then, oh my god, it turns out I'm bagels. No, it was a bagel person plotting. Now that does tell us, though, if we do amnestic treatment on a bagel person, could that make it so they think they're a real person and not bagels? Do you think amnestics work on a bagel person? Because if they are made out of bagels, their biology is certainly different than humans, which would make amnestics ineffective? Or do amnestics work on bagel people? This has a lot of implications for very little SCP document. That is a very short story to be hitting us with the bagel imposters. Damn, that's a good tag. Dr. Sherman, I'm looking for something to wear to the gym. Any suggestions? You're looking for something to wear to the gym? What's a gym? Gym. Oh, where people work out, a gym. Yeah, okay. So, yes. If you want to go to the gym to get big and strong, to be the best researcher you can be, you should head to the SCP store in our Site-42 support link and get yourself a Foundation Fitness Initiative t-shirt, because you don't have to be the fastest researcher, just not the slowest. If there isn't a containment breach, you want to be the faster runner, that's for sure. You also need to get stronger. Stronger people give better hugs. They are better at lifting... Oh, ow. Thursday was upper body day at the Gym for me. And oh, when I flexed, my biceps said, oh, don't do that. You are sore. I did not realize until I tried to flex. Ow. But yes, go to the Gym. Better yourself. You want to give good hugs. You want to help people lift furniture very heavy. Be a good friend. You want to be capable of wielding soup for my family, just in case. Your strength matters. Go to the gym and get a Foundation Fitness Initiative shirt to do it in.
Don't forget the bricks for the house for your family.
Ta-da! Sadly, I'll have to abstain from the Gym, still affected with my anomalous carpal tunnel. Well, green-coated, I'm just saying. Bikes, ellipticals, walking. Maybe not ellipticals, those have handholds. But the bikes and the, the bikes and the treadmills. That can be done without hands. Cardio. One of the rules of the zombie apocalypse, don't you know? Skywarp, thank you for sending 5 promotions to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. If you received one of those promotions and you're in the chat currently, I highly recommend thanking Skywarp for their generosity. Dr. Sherman, is there an SCP that makes people mispronounce things? Well, there was that article the other day that quite covered. Quite YouTube. Nope, not Keith. Please learn how to type. So in the Quite SCP video, where is it? SCP-7098. SCP-7098, codename A Stupid SCP. Heads up from the Record Storage Office. You're gonna read this. It is right. There will be no questions. Don't call me. Mary J., Boss Lady, Record Storage Office. Item number, SCP-7098. Class, easy. How we contain it? You don't contain it. It doesn't need to be. It only does things here at Site 96. You really shouldn't care. What is? 7098 only happens here. 7098 makes you write real bad whenever you want to write about it. It makes words bad, the punctuation bad, and the sentence bad too. We try to tell the boss here, but they don't listen because the words are so bad. They laugh or don't think it's real. But enough of us asked the boss finally got what we were talking about. Stuff. On Wednesday, I gave a copy of this to everyone that was going to work on it. But it was real hard because we used email so much and couldn't write good to each other. But when we got to leave work on Friday, we all got together and talked it out. We all agreed my first paper was the best. We also decided we got to include this talk as other stuff in the file. The record office probably won't take us seriously, so we called them on the phone to tell them how serious we were. And this was going to be very, very stupid SCP. Mrs. Jones didn't like it at first, but then she was okay with it. By Halloween of the year, SCP-7098 hasn't really done much. It only looks like our site is affected. But I heard stories of other bad writers elsewhere. Maybe they know about SCP-7098? Red, careful, it just comes back. Other people outside of 96 in a place far away wrote a file that is better, but I like mine. Now here is the more professional version of this SCP. So, yes, 7098 is exactly what you're talking about, although it does only apply to text. Kilber, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a macchiato on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, Director Sherman, I don't know, but someone stole my lower faceplate and now people are scared of me. Please make them give it back. I like my face. I don't know. This just sounds like one of those staff pranks that you and the staff members are going to have to work out on your own. It is well below my paid grade to be dealing with you and your little staff pranks with each other. SCP-586 is a rock that can't be writs about without at least one typo per sentence. Okay, so 586 has a similar anomaly to 7098, says DJ. Item number SCP-586, object class Scarf. Special containment procedures. SCP-586 is assigned to a storage container in Salty 04. Key may be obtained from the main office with presentation from Dr. Redacted. No further secretary is deemed necessary for the object. Description. SCP-586 is a smelt metallic object, pale green in color. The anomalous profession of the object was discovered by accident. In any sentence read about the object, at least one typist will be created. Specifically, one or more words will be replaced by ant incorrect word. Lab Report A, in this test, the portion of the sentence data plunged. Lab Report B, a test to determine if 586 has an effective range has turned up the following results. A D personnel was seated 1 meter from the object and gasped to write the control phrase, "The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog." A second D personnel located in data expunge was presented with a phonograph of the object and asked to describe it in a sentence. Result 1, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Result 2, it looks like a piece of garden horse. Lab Report C, 10, pardon the earthquake. 10 D personnel were asked to transcribe the short phrase, "it is." All were successful. Same personnel were then shown the object and asked to describe it using the phrase they had earlier transcribed. Results. It is, if is, Illinois, I hiss, titties, ibis, iris, Italy, data expanded. Lab Report D, native speakers of Swahili, Japanese, gelatin, and Arabic were asked to describe the device in their native language. They're spelled they are. Each description contained at least one word in the respective language that was not what the person had in hand intended to write. Addendum. For the last time, if you turn in a report with a dozen misspellings, "my orifice is too close to 586, will not be accepted as an excuse. There is no bleed effect, as evidenced in Test B. Unless you are writing about the object itself, you will not be affected. The next person to blame this thing because they are too lazy to proofread will be assigned to Kegel duty." Okay, returning to chat. And chat, by the way, we're about 8 minutes left in stream as a time check. 8 minutes left in stream. Skywarp, thank you for donating again to say. Dr. Sherman, things went very wrong. I tried to get another Prime here, but they still saw me as a Decepticon, and that got my arm ripped off. Much pain. Well, you better get to the motor pool. They can work as a robotics medical, and we'll see if they can fix you up. Furthermore, DJ was mentioning having some access to Cybertronian gear. Maybe you should cooperate with DJ for future endeavors in this manner. Intern Torres, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Get yourself some nachos on your way past the commissary. Hello, I'm glad I caught this stream. I took your advice and made business/recruitment cards and put the best line on there, among other things. Well, I hope that works out for you. Fingers crossed. DJ, you are hitting it with the interesting anomalies today. Let me get to skip 931. The interesting format screws continue, apparently. SCP-931, codename A Rice Bowl. Its item number is SCP-931. Object class is safe. Heed these procedures to keep the item secure. Special containment. Kept at Site 19 in a Level 2 locker, but no extra guards. Free access to it is prohibited to most. Need 3rd tier clearance. Effects are triggered by some images of it. Depends on angle. Writing about it will always be affected despite ignorance. A description of SCP-931. It is a rice bowl. White with a blue band and a crackled blue pattern all inside the bowl. 3 inches in height, 4.5 inches across. Metric doesn't fit. No maker's marks found. Suspected to have been made late 1900s. When viewed or handled, the item causes people to write in haiku. Not the classic sense. Themes of nature aren't needed. Just 575. Speech remains unchanged, but trying to write or type ends up as haiku. Exposure effects wear off within a few hours, varies by subject. Anything written about it also haiku, even if absent. If written by one ignorant of its effect, they're still affected. Its effect appears to be mimetic in source, though not yet proven. Evidence for this, those exposed who know haiku write proper haiku. Most people exposed who don't know these requirements just know the structure. More information is in audio format. See Dr. Stevens. They've tried transcribing using voice recognition. Results looked all wrong. Addendum for 931. This anomaly was used to cross-test. Considered useful to further contain hazard, to keep the world safe. Details of cross-test. This with 2673 locked up in haiku. Agent Charlemagne lounges. Hard to get Agent Charlemagne on camera. rolls over, does not want to be perceived.
Because I won't let him knock things off the desk.
That does look like a Charlemagne who is pouting because he was not allowed to knock things off the desk. I believe that. Floating away today, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a fruit salad, yummy, yummy, on your way past the commissary. Hope your weekend is delightful. P.S. Titanium sucks. Well, I hope your weekend is delightful, and you are absolutely correct about the suckage level of titanium, which is a vast amount of suckage. You might say that SCP-022-J is a super metal in how much it super sucks, bro. So you're going to buy me a guinea pig. You must be talking to someone else, because I have not seen a guinea pig for you in the site budget. Attention, Site 42. Am I coming in? Am I coming in? As the hack ended, I tried my best. 079 is messing with us. Okay, we're back. We're back. Sorry, there was a little bit of an incursion there. Well, I think since we're about to run the outro anyways, I think that's as good a time as any. But let's first, one more time, we can say hello to a Puppy of Interest 42 and Agent Charlemagne. So, Site 42 staff here at the outro of today's stream. As always, it's a tradition. I tell you guys my favorite SCPs. Of course, I'm not going to tell you that my favorite SCPs are the ones I personally wrote. That would be cheating. But if you want to read the SCPs I personally wrote, you can go to the Sherm's author page in Site 42 Hub on the SCP database. There you can see the SCPs I personally wrote, as well as contributed voice lines or sound effects to. And while you are on my author page, one tab over from those links, one tab over from the SCPs, there's a list of links. Links that people ask about very often in the chat, but then they just don't take the time to go find them, which is very sad for them. But not for you, because you are not so undetermined that you would miss out on those links. And while you are at those links, you can become a Site 42 Patreon patron or a YouTube channel member to donate to us monthly. You can do a Ko-Fi or a YouTube Super Chat to donate to us one at a time. Either way, direct donations are the quickest way to keep the lights on for myself as well as the Site 42 staff members, so we appreciate your help in that generous manner. Meanwhile, if you are part of the Broke Gang and you cannot donate, do not fret, because your help as a member of Mobile Task Force Site 42, codename Signal Boosters, is quite valuable in and of itself. If you are able to like, share, subscribe, comment, chat, not just on us, but on the SCP projects that we support out there, you are helping us to get bigger and better SCP projects made. You're helping us to support the SCP Wiki and its authors and artists, the animators, the game devs, the filmmakers, the merch makers, the podcasters. We get cooler SCP things because of your help, and so we greatly thank you for your service in helping us to help the SCP community to the best of our ability. Now, with that out of the way, Site 42 staff, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one. It's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 531, and any content warning on the last one's a rough read. So, Site 42 staff, has been another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. Did you think it was supposed to look like the poster? It mostly does, oh, if you'd only read closer. Just 10 short years to your new frontier. Snooze as you cruise and you'll wake up here. You've been trapped in that ship for an awful long time, so perhaps you have simply forgot what you signed. Oh, honestly. Did you not read the colony policy that defines you as company property? That waivers your say in autonomy. The conglomerates got you in lock and key. We put the dollar back into idolatry. If you're upset, you can rent an apology. We are a family forged in bureaucracy. No I in team, but there's con in economy. Were you expecting adventure? Were you hoping for fun? My friend, you're indentured and pleasure's exempt from your tenure, so venture back down to your slum that's provided at generous prices. Your worth is determined by your sacrifices. A small term of service when down on the surface. Internment's a freebie that comes with the purchase. We work to earn the right to work, 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 to earn the right to give ourselves the right to buy, ourselves the right to live, to earn the right to die. The credit song is The Fine Print by the Stupendium, an apt song for an episode talking about health insurance for the Foundation, I think. Now be safe, be well, Site 42 staff, and as always, secure, contain, protect.